Hello everyone, welcome back to Overthinking Wallflower, where we turn mental chaos to emotional harmony. So we have all been wronged by someone. Maybe a friend betrayed us, or a loved one said something harsh, or sometimes some strangers wronged us. So it's only natural and human to hold on to that pain, that grudge inside you. But do you realize how much it is affecting your own mental health? I understand जब भी हमारे साथ कोई गलत करता है, हमें कोई बिट्रे करता है, हमारे साथ कुछ इतना गलत हो जाता है, बहुत डिफ़िकल्ट होता है किसी को फ़ॉरगिव करना, बहुत डिफ़िकल्ट होता है किसी को लेट गो कर देना. सो टुडे वंस अगेन वी आर टर्निंग इनटू दिस एंशिएंट टेक्स्ट ऑफ विज़डम दैट guide us in our life, and that is the Bhagavad Gita. And we all know this sacred text is not something that is spiritual or religious. It is also something that guides us, that helps us to navigate through our life. So let's explore how the Gita teaches us the art of forgiveness and how it transforms our mental well-being. But before we dive into this timeless wisdom, let's understand what does forgiveness mean. हमारे मन में ना एक बहुत गलत डेफिनेशन आ जाती है जब भी हम फॉरगिवनेस की बात करते हैं. वी थिंक इट्स एक्चुअली लेटिंग गो ऑफ वॉट एवर हैज़ हैपन टू यू एंड यू आर एक्सेप्टिंग देम विद ऑल दीज थिंग्स दैट हैज़ हैपन टू यू. Forgiveness does not mean you are saying whatever happened to you was okay, whatever they did was okay and it's acceptable, or that you will forget it completely and you will move on with them. That is not what it means. It means choosing to let go of whatever your emotions are, whatever you are feeling about that particular incident, and move on with our lives. It means choosing to let go of that anger and that pain, not for the other person, not for them, but for yourself. So how does the Bhagavad Gita guides us in this journey? Let's explore this beautiful verse.
This verse shows us that forgiveness is a divine quality. Just as God forgives us unconditionally, just as a parent forgives their child, or a friend looks past mistakes, forgiveness is rooted in love and grace. It's not about weakness, it's the strength that frees us from the chains of resentment.
Let's take a moment, pause this video right here, and think about the time when you made a mistake and someone forgave you. Maybe it was your parent who forgave you when you made a mistake when you were a teenager or in your childhood. How did that feel? It most likely created a safe space for you to learn, grow, and move on without having a sense of shame. Or probably consider a time when you forgave your friend. I know it is very difficult sometimes when you are being betrayed or when someone backstabs you. So at first it might have been hard for you to forgive and let go of that anger. But when you finally decided to do that, it made you felt a lot lighter and free from a lot of baggage, emotional baggage that you carried along. This verse not only teaches you to forgive others, but it also asks you to consider forgiving yourself. जैसे हम फॉरगिवनेस दूसरों से सीख करते हैं या दूसरों को देते हैं, बहुत ज़रूरी है कि कभी कभी हम खुद को भी फॉरगिव करें कोई भी एक्शंस, कोई भी सिचुएशन के लिए जो हमने खुद के लिए क्रिएट कर दी होती है कभी कभी. बिकॉज वो कॉन्स्टेंटली खुद की पास्ट मिस्टेक्स को रिकॉल करते रहना, उनको रिविजिट करते रहना, एंड कॉन्स्टेंटली फीलिंग दैट यू आर नॉट गुड इनफ और लिसन यू डिड दिस रॉन्ग 5 years ago, वो constant criticism is not good for yourself also. This constant self-judgment, constant self-criticism leads to anxiety, low self-esteem, and even depression sometimes. When you forgive yourself, you break the cycle of this constant self-criticism. You create a safe space for you within yourself. You create a space for growth and compassion for yourself, which are very essential for a good mental health. So you tell yourself right now, you made this mistake, but you're not defined by that mistake. You're constantly learning and growing. Someone told me this beautiful line: sometimes we cannot forgive others, we cannot love others, or we cannot provide that care to anyone because we are not providing that love, that forgiveness, that care to ourselves. This is a thought that sometimes keeps running in your subconscious mind, and that is why you're not able to forgive others also. Probably you have not forgiven yourself. So try considering forgiving yourself, and then probably it will become a lot easier for you to forgive others also. And many people, most of us in fact, mistake forgiveness as a sign of weakness, but as this verse reminds us, it's actually the completely opposite of what we feel about forgiveness. Holding on to grudge is extremely easy, it's the easiest thing you can do, but letting go requires a lot of strength. It takes immense courage and love to let go of that resentment, to let go of that anger and pain. Because when you forgive, you rise above that pain. You reclaim your energy and stop giving power to the past. You choose peace over pride. You choose healing over hurt. And isn't that what we all are craving for, some way or the other? Finding peace within ourselves. So, you know what? Start small. Try forgiving people in your day-to-day basis for any minor inconvenience that happens to you, or probably forgive yourself for a bad day and notice the difference, and please let me know in the comments below if you do. And now in the next verse, we'll discuss why forgiveness is important for your mental health. When we hold on to these grudges, it creates a mental and emotional burden. Like I mentioned, anger and resentment can lead to anxiety, stress, or even depression sometimes. But when we forgive, we are releasing that burden and we are creating some space for peace and healing.
Forgiveness is one of the qualities that brings us closer to inner peace and divine connection. When we forgive, we become more compassionate, kinder, and lighter in spirit.
Okay, let's imagine a situation which may or may not has already happened to you probably. Um, you trusted a friend, you shared something with them, and they shared it with someone else. Naturally, you'd feel hurt and angry. Let's take another example now. Imagine a workplace conflict where a colleague of yours probably took credit of your work, your idea, your presentation. And it's only natural, you in a lot of these situations you feel helpless and you feel wronged, and it causes a lot of anger inside you. Sometimes you replay all these incidents over and over again in your head. You just can't let it go. But have you ever thought, how is it helping you? What are you achieving out of that? It only drains your own energy, affects your own performance, and creates unnecessary stress. But I'll repeat it once again, by forgiving them, not for their sake, but for your own, you release the grip they have on your mental state. And I'm not saying this means you accept them as your friends again, you start trusting them again, and you completely ignore the injustice that has happened to you. No, it only means you acknowledge whatever has happened to you, you learn from it, and you let it go. This means letting go of all the emotional baggage, that's it. Because it's like a self-preservation technique. By forgiving themselves, you are only focusing on what actually matters to you, and that is learning and growing constantly, and not focusing on whatever has happened to you already. Because honestly, you cannot do anything about that. You can choose how to react in these situations. You cannot control how they are treating you, but you can control how you are responding to these situations. And even research backs this up. Studies show that practicing forgiveness, whether towards someone else or towards you, can reduce stress, lower your blood pressure, and improve your overall happiness. Alright, so how can we actually practice forgiveness? I know it's not always easy, especially when the wounds are so deep, when you have been scarred deeply. It's not easy to practice forgiveness, and sometimes you want to forgive someone, but you don't know how. You don't know how to actually forgive them, and you're just not able to. But as I say, the Bhagavad Gita provides us with practical tools to navigate through our life. Let's explore this verse. Forgiving someone definitely takes a lot of courage, and by forgiving someone, you definitely become a bigger person. And that is why forgiveness is listed among top divine qualities. And to cultivate it, here are few steps inspired by the Bhagavad Gita, how to actually practice that. Always look at the bigger picture. If holding on to these grudges are not going to help you 5 years down the line, then there's no point of having these grudges. The Bhagavad Gita teaches us that life is temporary, and holding on to grudges is going to just weigh you down constantly. It's not going to help you in any way. So ask yourself, is this grudge actually worth your peace of mind, and is it solving any of your problem for that matter? If not, then just let it go, just move on. So just choose yourself and your peace of mind over that grudge of yours. Sometimes someone might have hurt you but they didn't intend to, or the circumstances were such in which they couldn't help, but they had to do whatever caused you this hurt. So I think by practicing compassion and understanding where they are coming from will also help you forgiving them and understanding their side of the story. So forgiving does not mean you are excusing them for their behavior. You are just treating them as human, because it's only human to make mistake and hurt others as long as they are accepting whatever they have done. Sometimes we don't realize this, but sometimes I'm saying there is this ego inside us that tells us not to forgive them, because this ego is constantly reminding us that we are right. We don't accept it because sometimes we don't know, but it is very important for you to get inside that thought and find the root cause of that emotion where you don't want to forgive anyone. Might be because of your underlying ego, and forgiveness is all about choosing your peace over that pride. Try finding that root cause, and like I say, choose yourself, choose your peace of mind over anything. And sometimes, I know it's not very easy, I know easier said than done, but sometimes just surrender all your pain and all your anger. Trust that justice will happen in its own time, or in its own way probably, and trust the process. Just let go of that resentment, that grudge, that anger, that pain, and move on with your life. And trust me, you will notice a lot of positive changes once you start practicing forgiveness for others and for yourself. Very importantly, you will notice incredible changes in your life and in your mental state. You'll feel a lot lighter, a lot happier, and more at peace. You'll be able to have a better, strong bonds in your life, a better relationship in your life, and probably a better, trustworthy relationships in your life. You'll feel more connected to yourself, to others, and probably to the divine. And most importantly, forgiveness frees you. It allows you to reclaim your power, live in the present moment, live in the now, rather than being stuck in the past. So while I was doing research for this video, I understood this, and I'm hoping after watching this video you also would have understood the meaning of this dialogue finally, that माफ़ी मांगने से माफ़ कर देने वाला ज़्यादा बड़ा होता है. Because it's not just a moral virtue, it's a gift that you give to yourself. As the Bhagavad Gita teaches us, forgiveness brings us a lot closer to peace, to joy, and to divine connection. If you like this video, I really want you to take a moment and reflect to your past, and if you really need to forgive someone, if you're holding to any grudges, because it is knowingly or unknowingly you might be affecting your own mental health by holding on to these grudges, whether it's someone else or yourself. Try forgiving now, and do remember, forgiveness does not mean forgetting. It means choosing freedom over anger. So thank you for joining me today on Overthinking Wildflower. I'll see you in the next video very soon. Till then, please take care of yourself, stay kind with others and with yourself, and do like, share, subscribe to my channel.